Well, hey, it's Media Pokemon. I am your host with the most, William Pride, aka Nexus. Horror movies are my specialty, and you can see my banner. My art statue that's signed by Art the Clown himself and Art the Clown himself. More on that later. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn horror movie characters into Pokemon. I'm going to base it on Jason, Freddy, Michael, Ghostface, Pinhead, Billy, Chucky, Art the Clown, and more. Let's begin. I'm going to base Freddy on a 3 stages evolution. And I give a Mega Evolution based on Super Freddy. And based on a Fire Ghost. Chris Spirit. The Burnt Pokemon. A small, showery Pokemon with tether, a oversized sweater that a faint smell of smoke. Born from the lingering malice of a trapped spirit, it wanders abandoned boiler rooms. It feeds on the minor anxiety on sleeping children, causing them to sleep in turn. Slasa Card, the Sleep Stalker Pokemon, a Fire Ghost type, evolved from Chris Spirit at level 35. It grow taller and sported a tattered fedora. It right hand has considered into a dense metal claw that harder spectral ash. It gained the power to slip into the subconscious of its target. If a person is slashed by Sakara in the dream, they wake up with physical burn marks. 9 Maron, the Boogeyman Pokemon. Evolved from Slakara when level up at night while holding a rusty glove. The ultimate dream demon, a complete scar like a melted glass. So it's a grand wicked, and both hands sport terrifying shark claws that sports intense psychic and thermal energy. It controls entire pocket dimension made of nightmares. It grows exponentially stronger. It more terrifies the opponent. It drags their subconscious into the dream world. It become invincible. Mega Nightmaron, the Cosmic Fiend Pokemon. Megastone Nightmaron Knight. Based on Super Freddy. And the claws melt into glowing steel. Mega Evolution pumps Nightmaron of a reality dream power. It viewed the battlefield as a twisted karma book. Manipulated the environment and it form to mock the prey. Special mechanic abilities. Hit ability, Bad Dream. When the opponent attack 1.5 times damage to any opponent opposite Pokemon that is currently afflicted with Dream Cause status. Additionally, the opponent cannot use Spore or Sleep Talk while this Pokemon is on the field. The Dream World. When Nightmaron is entered the field, it activates its unique field mechanic, the Welcome to the Nightmare. Any Pokemon fall asleep, Nightmaron is active. It doesn't just lose a turn. They are dragging the Dream World. While in the Dream World, the opponent lose specialized defense, like Sturdy, Multi-Scale, or Levitate, are completely nullified, leaving them entirely invulnerable on Nightmaron's whims. Sage move, Boil Room Blitz. Fire. The user scrapes claws, emits screeches sound, targets special defense by lower its special defense by 1 stage, followed by a Slash Blaze. Dream World Burst. If the target is asleep, this move change to a ghost type and bypass protection and substitution. It has 100% chance to inflict a flinch if the target wakes up that turn. Now time for Jason Voorhees, a dark and water type. Vorpon, the submerged Pokemon, a water dark type. A small silent waterlogged Pokemon that resembles a showery child, where a decayed moss-covered burlap sack over a mass. It barely see over the murky waters. Legends say it is the spirit of Pokemon that sank to the bottom of the lake. It says it perfectly stays still for days, staring intently at the shoreline with a deep, silent resentment. Jason Tonic, the unstoppable Pokemon, evolved from Vorpon at level 40, holding a machete. A towering brute with wear a pale bone like a hockey mask that dripping lake water, and hold a rusty iron blade that drag along the ground. It never runs, yet it catches prey no matter what they play. J-Tonic emerged from the shadows directly ahead of them. Physical attacks completely failed to slow its down. Mega J-Tonic, the Cyber Slasher Pokemon, a Steel and Dark. It became a Steel and Dark after Jason 9. It based on Uber Jason from Jason X. When the futuristic Nanite said agreement clone of it, fused and also rebuilt by advanced technology after a fatal defeat. Mega Evolution has turned a biological body into a indestructible alloy. It feels absolute zero pain. It can survive the vacuum of space and by hardcore detraction to Terminate. Relentless pursuit. The opponent cannot be switched or flee as long as this Pokemon is on the field, similar to Shadow Tag. Furthermore, if the Pokemon is used a switch move like a Volt U-turn or Volt Tackle, Jace Tonic immediately hits them with a signature move before leaving. Curse of Crystal Lake is an ability. When the fact that when HP hits 0, it doesn't fade. It enters a drowned state when for 2 turns. While drowned, it cannot be status condition. It attack stats double. It can attack normally. If it defeats an opponent Pokemon during these 2 turns, it recovers 25% of its HP and remains in battle. Special mechanic, the Ki Ma Echo. Wherever Sonic is entered the battle or knock out an opponent, the eerie echo fills the arena. This applies a custom status called Dread. All opponent opposing Pokemon afflicted with Dread have their speed cut by 30% and 10% each turn mobilized with fear. Similar to Paralyze, represented the horror trope of tripping while running away. Ki Kill. Dark. A brutal slash that ignores all targets' stat changes, like defense or evasion. Environment bonus. If the battlefield is affected by rain, surf, or water terrain, this move increases to 120. It break through standard defense barrier like protect and detect. Now Michael Myers, a grassy dark. Hollow Wave, the shape Pokemon. The Boogeyman Pokemon. It's actually a legendary tier. A tall human-shaped figure that dark brows, pale white bark that form a blank expressionless face. It actually cover of rotted vines that actually ice stone of the ice. It doesn't speak or breathe or show emotion. It stalks quiet suburban towns on autumn nights. Move seamlessly between the shadow of the hedges and the piles of dead leaves. No matter how many times it struck down, it always stood back up, driven by an ancient, unexplained malice. Survivability. The shape. This Pokemon is immune to physical and emotional effects or moves like Taunt, Attract, Torment, Intimidate, or Flinching. Additional, its attack cannot be directed moves like Follow Me or Rage Powder. It always hits the chosen target. Evil dies tonight. If Hollow Wave dropped to 25%, or it hit that would be knocked out. It during 1 HP life focus left. Attack and defense raised by 2 stages. And sheer determination of the victims trying to destroy it only make it only make it stronger. Special mechanic, stock ambush. Hollow Wave play a deadly game of patient. It introduced the battle mechanic called the Hollow Shadow. For every turn, Hollow Wave is on the field without attacking, uses status moves, switching, or protect against stalker captor up to max 3. Each stalker captor have a critical ratio. At 3 captor is physical attack increase of the substitution and paralyze effect appear. Signature move October 31st. Grass. The battlefield is instantly covered in swirling dead autumn leaves. A hollow wave vanish into the foliage and striking from behind and slashing. The shape bonus: if hollow wave at least a 1 stock bonus, this move deal dark type damage. Instead, it becomes super effective against the target. It clears all hazards like Stuff Rock and or Spike on the Hollow Wave side and sweeping them away of the other win. Now type of Ghostface, a Ghost and Dark type. Paul, the Caller Pokemon, a Ghost and Dark type. A floating robe like a small robe like a cartoonish mouth. It delights in making strange and bodily noises near humans at night. It uses its voice altering illusion to mimic sounds of loved ones, luring unexpected targets out into the open. Shrinkface, the movie buff Pokemon, evolved from Prankball at level 29 when it has scary trivia. A tall, slender, draped cloak that face is melting. It doesn't stalk a prey. It studies the pattern and watches a movie. It's highly unpredictable. Just when you think it have defeated one, a second one emerges and shadow a strike from behind. Surgeability, who's there? When Street Fang switches battle, it forces the opposing Pokemon to reveal its held item and entire moveset. Additionally, the opponent become confused if they try to use a move that matches the type and the item they are holding. The sequel. If Street Fate is knocked out by a direct attack, a second identical Shriek Face immediately take place on the field with a 50 health HP. Represent the classic twist and there were 2 killers. This effect only triggered once per battle. Special mechanic The trivia question. When Shriekface entered the match, it infiltrated the global field condition called What Your Favorite Scary Movie. For 3 turns, the opponent had to answer a movie of a different use of the turn. If they break the rules of the trivia and the massive psychological damage equals to the 20% HP and the physical defense lowered by 2 stages out of panic. Scary trivia. Dark. Shriekface called the opponent and messed with the head and copied the last move the target used. Scary trivia for the rest of the battle. Ghostface bonus. It copied the move and gains 1+, but meaning it always goes first. It deals ghost type damage to alongside the original typing. I love the idea of the sequel, and maybe it mimics the double kill of the movies. Now time for Pinhead. A Ghost of Steel. Kana Pharaoh. The puzzle Pokemon. A Ghost of Steel type. It's more like a metal cube that had golden geometric great engravings. It mimicked an ordinary erratic toy that lured curiosity individuals. If someone solves the puzzle, it plays open the side and exposes a gateway to a realm of endless atonement. Sado-Masochist, the order Pokemon, evolved from Centerfold at level 34. A small humanoid with a black metallic robe and perfectly bald with scars and tiny pins. It view pain and pleasure as entirely identical. It spends all of that time perfectly aligned with the needle in the body and uses the sensory overload to sharpen its psychic and spiritual energy. Hell Priest, the Sado-Masochist Pokemon. Evolved from Saddle Needle by level up with the Confederate Ball. A towering, elegant anti-clad that its spikes are gleaming. An explorer of the furthest regions experience its command. Hooks chain that fabric of a reality. It doesn't act out of malice or anger or malice, but it out of strict cold devotion of the Dark Order. Gigantamax Hell Priest. G-Max Labyrinth. Hook Rat Labyrinth. Hell Priest grow colossal and lower body and hooks like the original puzzle box. G-Max energy tore a gateway to its home dimension and completely transformed it into a twisted rabbit iron cold of the Hell Priest's absolute control. Flesh and Iron. The Pokemon is completely immune to contact moves like close combat or Iron Head. If the opponent use moves against Hellpriest, they are instantly snared by iron hooks and 1/16 of the maxing and reduce the speed by one stage. Pleasure of pain. Whenever Hellpriest is hit by a super effective attack, instead of being weakened, its special attack is special defense. Getting 2 stages, a pure twisted ecstasy, special defense, the labyrinth chains. When Hellpriest on the field is passive pressure, the order of the labyrinth. Every time the opposing Pokemon take damage from the move, the special chains wrap around them. 3 chains targets. It cannot free, switch out, or use a heal items moves like recover or roost for the remainder of 3 turns. Tear them apart is a G-Max move. Tear their soul out is their move. Steal. Helpers summon a cross fire of blood-soaked chains that rip them up. And the bonus is dual type damage of steel and ghost. If the target trapped in the labyrinth chains, ignore all protection of light screen and reflect. G-Max Hook Rabbit Steel. It transformed from tear your soul apart. It inflict massive damage and summon a storm of razor sharp hooks for the next 5 turns. Any Pokemon that take HP damage and prevent them from a positive boost. Billy Saw. A ghost, the judgment, the Arbiter Pokemon, ghost and normal type. A stork-like women puppet that wear a pristine black suit with a blood red bow tie. It appeared out of nowhere at the front of the appreciation. It doesn't speak on its own, but it have a destroyed audio tapes, forcing its target into a horrific dilemma. It refused to fight. It referred to watch its victims destroy themselves, trying to escape its setup. Special ability, Sager ability, appraise value. When Billy Saw entered the battle, it skinned the opponent HP percent. If the opponent is 100 HP, Billy special defense and defense is double. If 50% below 50%, attack deal 1.5 damage. Ruthless punish the target who are already weak. Reverse Spirit Trap. If the opponent's Pokemon use a multi-turn move like Outrage or Rollout, or move that requires charging like Solar Beam or Fly, they are instantly locked into a deadly mechanism at the end of 5 turns. If they have it switch out, they have a massive damage that equal to 50% of their HP. The choice When Billy is sent out, it trigger a global battlefield rule called "When I Want to Play a Game." At the start of the turn, the opponent give a psychological ultimatum. They must choose a between two negative, lose 20% of the HP, or have all their moves of their HP cut in half. They have to sacrifice to allow them to attack moves against Billy Saw. Search a move, live or die. Billy Saw play his tape recorder containing a riddle. They are forced 3 turns to countdown timer and target. It's similar to Parasar, but the twist is a game bonus. The target escape the countdown only if they intentionally inflict damage on themselves, like using a move that deal damage, or trigger a self-inflict burn. If they don't not to harm themselves to escape, they faint instantly when the timer hits 0, and the single stage vibe so it rolls into a field, start a game, and forces the opponent to make a choice. Now, Chucky, a ghost and poison. Voodoo doll, the possessed Pokemon. A possessed doll that had no eyeballs and teeth that plastic lips. I pick up poison because plastic poison and ghost is possessed. Created with a dark sorcerer that use a voodoo ritual to transfer their soul into a toy, a childhood toy, a children's toy. It pretend to be an ordinary doll inside a household when night fall to poison the children's food. Chakra Rage. The Notorious Pokemon, evolved from Voodoo doll at level 30. The doll is a rever. It has scars and drip poison fluid from its joints. It has completely embraced is stitched in together and dying. It is incredibly foul-mouthed and loud, and recently it learned how to split his spirit into multiple vessels, allowing a horde of identical dolls to ambush it simultaneously. Durability, Toxic Tantrum. Whenever Chuck Rage is hit with a physical attack, it filled into a swear-filled rage, throw a tantrum that toxic shards that inflict badly poison status condition on the attack boost its speed by 1 stage. Damala Transfer. If Chucky Ray is about to faint from an opponent attack, if the chant a voodoo curse, if it allow him fate, is swap the HP bar with the opponent HP bar, allow him to drain the life force to repair his plastic shell, triggered once per battle. The Chucky Horde. Chuck Ray began a terrifying mechanic to the field called Cult of Chucky. Whenever Chuck Ray used a poison move, it puddle residue. If an ally switch into the spot, or if Chuck Ray used a protection move, a Chucky minion spawn on the field, similar to substitute but pure poison. A minion is active and a physical attack that strike 3 times in a row, represent the doll of the swarm from Ade Dua Dama Ghost. Chucky recite the infamous Voodoo enchant. Summon dark lightning strikes at the film. Voodoo burn. If the target is already poisoned, the move ignore the immunity. If it hit the normal types, it convert 50 damage of the damage into healing Chucky Ray. If it also forces the target to become taunt and make it them angry to use status move. This ghost type poison combo is a delusion fire. Now type for Art the Clown, the pure ghost type. Mime Cringe, the Carnage Pokemon. A skeletal humanoid that tattered a monochrome black and white with a crooked hat that decade of the rustage. It never make a single sound. It communicates entirely through mime. A jester blows playful bows. It horrifully acts like a grand comedy. It acts laugh silent as it rusted hacksaw and hammer it on its prey. It feels zero more ability. Ability, absolute silence. This Pokemon is completely immune to sound voice moves like Sound Burst, Hyper Voice, or Parasong. Furthermore, when Mime Cringe is on the field, no other Pokemon can use Sound Voice moves. The entire battlefield falls dead and suffocate. The trash-based arsenal. Medicaid doesn't rely on health items. At the start of the match, it reaches into its garbage bag and equip a rather 3 items: a life orb, a choice band, and a rocky helmet. If its item is removed, consumed, or it reaches to bag out a new one at the end of the turn. The silent performance. Mime Cringe treat the battlefield like a performance, active, terrifying condition called the Grindhouse Show. Every time a Grindhouse knock out an opponent or inflict a critical hit, it honk its horns and did a little dance. Inflict traumatized status condition on the opponent and the remaining party traumatized lose 10% of their health when they switch in, and the attack is permanently cut by one stage of sheer dread. Not circle slasher dark. My cringe pull out a hacksaw or a scalpel, deliver a agonizing slice at the cook. Mimic a bonus if the opponent tried to use protect move like protect, detect, or spiky shield. The ninth circle completely break the barrier. It deals double damage, 190 power, and break the barrier for the rest of the match. You cannot hide the clown. My cringe sound way more like a proper Pokemon name. Now Ben the Chimp from 2026 Primate, a normal fire. Chimp, the rabbit pet Pokemon. It's an intelligent chimpanzee that have a boiling high temperature. Once a gentle pet that communicate with a human through simulated digital type. After a tragic encounter with a invasive rabbit mongoose, a serum fever, and a mind driven into the hydro big madness. It now use incredible natural strength to stalk its former hole and fully target itself. Hydrobatic Stalker. If any water type move is used on it or it rain, send Chip into the battle. Absolute panic. It attack speed immediately max up by 6 stages, but it permanently confuse a completely trap on the field. Switch out there. Desperately avoid the water. Broken tablet. When Citrip take a physical damage, it wrist tablet glitches out and immediately destroy the static screen. A 30% chance to flinch the attacker and lower a special defense of all surrounding Pokemon by one stage of pure psychological Searcher move, the Face Ripper tactic. Send the Chimp does it just attack wildly. It significantly attack its victim head and jaw with terrifying precision. It introduced a custom field called Maintain Dead, a physical attack from a critical hit that disable opponent ability to use bite, jaw-based moves, or shout like crunch, hyper voice, or roar. For the rest, Mongoose Grudge. Remember the vicious bite of the mongoose. Chip throw is entire weight forward, pin against the Dharma. A fever bonus, it deal a 30% chance to sheer violence of the boiling temperature of the 100% chance to leave a burn. It hits actual 2026 Primate lore dead on and tragic, terrifying, absolute brutal. Now time for the man with the yellow hat from Season 4. A Dark Ice. Vesemir, the false resident Pokemon. A tall, slender guy, a figure that morph is skin. A terrifying entity with a pocket dimension that absolute despair does not hunt like a regular beast. Instead, it communicates disguised as trusted friends and shed its facade to feast on broad daylight and leave a frozen trail of carnage. Search your move, Sophia Gamer. When Vesemir entered the battlefield, it take on a appearance type in the opponent's lead Pokemon like Zora Illusion. However, the illusion doesn't break when it hit. It only drops when Vesemir lands a critical hit or use its signature move that the opponent attack a special attack by 2 stages of shock. Tip of a spear. This Pokemon ignores the opponent's protective ability and stats change and screens. Sturdy, multi-scale protection and reflect. It absolute town mounts and nothing against. The old cycle special mechanic. Vesemir views the battlefield as a board game and immediately a global effect that called the favorite part. Every time the Pokemon faints or switch out while Vesemir is active, the battlefield grows colder and the cycle up to 4. Each counter of all the Pokemon is 15% as the freezing frost down their limbs. At the counter, the field trigger massacre that freeze status that them on the field. Trapping the opponent on the field. What happened next? Dark. Vesemir whisper the truth to the target before striking with Frozen Claw. Mastermind bonus. The deal the combined Dark type and Ice type damage. If Vesemir illusion from Sophia is active, this move deal double damage at 190 as it opponent off guard and break in and consume the life force. An iso type combo that perfectly mirroring he completely wrote the rules of the monsters in from. See you next time, and also I will actually do from season 4 next year. Have a good day. Bye.